Okay, so with that, we'll go ahead and get started. So again, thank you everyone for being here with us tonight. We're excited to talk with the community. We're going to be talking about rates and some of the different projects that we're doing. So this will be the public's opportunity to ask us questions or give us your input. So we're excited to have you here. So my name is Stephen Glenn. I'm the Environmental Services Supervisor here, and I am going to be acting as the moderator here tonight. So I will be fielding questions in the chat. You can also raise your hand if you have any questions. Just a couple of things before we get started on the presentation and the video. If you do need translation services, you can use that by using the closed captioning and then translating that to whatever language you will need. Also, we will be recording this session, so if you need to drop off at any time, you will be able to go back and kind of pick up where you left up on. Let's see, what else do I have here? So I'll go ahead and introduce who we have here with us. We have Amanda De Leon. She's our management analyst. We also have Leslie Reynoso, who's our administrative assistant on the Ventura Water Pier side. And we have Gina Dorrington, our general manager of Ventura Water. So Gina's going to be giving us the presentation, and then we'll show you a short film, and then you guys will be able to pound us with questions. It's a pretty small group, so we anticipate we can get to all the questions that you might have. So with that, I will go ahead and turn it over to Gina to start working through the PowerPoint.
All right. Thank you, Stephen. And thank you everyone who's joined us this evening. Thank you for the opportunity to hear about what we do for you at Ventura Water and have some great conversation about how this is impacting your wet rates for the next 5 years. So our brand promise to you is that we provide a local, reliable water and wastewater service for future generations. It's our responsibility, it's our promise to you that that's what we provide. And so I am your general manager with Ventura Water, and Stephen introduced some of the staff, but to give you a little more introduction into who we actually are, you can get that next slide going. There we go. So we are a team of over 100 dedicated, skilled, and certified professionals, ensuring that you receive service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We operate and maintain all of the complex and critical infrastructure systems that serve about 113,000 people. Our primary customer service is to provide water and wastewater to support our economy, to support the public health and safety, and to preserve our environmental protection. So our existing water system is comprised of 3 water treatment facilities that serve about 12 million gallons of water a day to the city of Ventura. That also is supplied by over 400 miles of water line with 19 pump stations, about 10 wells, 27 reservoirs, over 11,000 valves, and over 3,000 public hydrants, with about 66 certified employees to help maintain all of that. Our wastewater system is 1 wastewater treatment facility receiving about 7.5 million gallons a day. And there's over 300 miles of sewer line that we maintain with 11 sewer lift stations, over 6,000 manholes, and about 47 certified employees maintaining that side of the system. So when you pay your water bill, every dollar that you pay goes back into water and wastewater services. The water and wastewater utility is in an enterprise fund, so it is not part of the city's general fund. And so you can see from this chart what portion of each dollar goes into the different aspects of water and wastewater treatment. The biggest you can see is there's a lot of capital improvement costs that we need to do. We need to build and repair some major infrastructure in the next 5 years. What's also important is by law, and the process you'll hear me talk about, Proposition 218 requires us to only charge for water and wastewater services. We cannot make a profit, and we do not have the ability to fund other areas within the city of Ventura. So why do we need to go for rates now? And we typically look at water and wastewater rates on a 5-year basis. We plan out typically a financial plan in 10 years, but we look more minutely at a 5-year increase. And in this last sort of look that we've done, we have some major obstacles that we need to address and to keep the city of Ventura operating efficiently and in compliance with water and wastewater law. So that's part of it, is just meeting regulatory requirements. We have several permits and water law obligations that we have to meet. We have to replace a lot of aging infrastructure. A lot of our water infrastructure is between the years of 60 and 80 years old. So we are having to go back and now replace things that we've made repairs along the way. And just like everyone else in the world, we're seeing a lot of inflation and a lot of cost pressures. Our chemical costs have gone up, energy costs have gone up, and we are needing to address that so that we cover just those basic needs of operating water and wastewater. And then this city is a unique city based that it has local water supplies. And we saw in the last drought cycle that we were strained in those water supplies, and those water supplies will continue to be affected by climatic change and legal constraints and environmental challenges. So we do need to go out and secure a new reliable water supply. So some of those big capital projects that are impacting the rate cycle this 5 years are the upgrades to our wastewater treatment facility. You may have heard about the MBR, or the membrane bioreactor, and that is the upgrade of a nearly 80-year-old system, parts of it. And that infrastructure is in critical failure, and we are witnessing some of the infrastructure give way and actually collapse. So in order to meet environmental compliance and state law to treating wastewater, we need to upgrade that facility. We also have been conducting a main pipeline through the city of Ventura. We had the first section completed this summer, and we're beginning the next section later this winter. And that's the east to west waterline interconnection. The city, as you saw on the graph, we have a lot of pump stations to pump water and tanks and reservoirs, and it's quite complicated to move water from one side of the city to the other. So this interconnection is allowing for an efficiency of scale to make sure that we are able to supply the entire city of Ventura with water in a steady state. And then we have our State Water Interconnection Project, which is a pipeline that we have partnered with Callegas to connect in Camarillo and bring in our state water allocation that was actually the city's been paying for quite some time. We've made some agreements and have been leasing that water, but to actually physically get our state water allocation, the State Water Project interconnection will be moving forward. And then the Ventura Water Pure program, which is our sustainable water supply program. We're going to be taking the treated wastewater that we discharge into the Santa Clara River estuary currently, and we'll be putting that into an advanced purification facility to bring a new, reliable, sustainable, climate resistant, and resilient supply into the city of Ventura. And all along the way, we have been going out and getting grant funding for all of these projects. We've secured about $110 million in grants, and we have about $173 million in a low-interest government loan that is helping along the way to try to keep rate impacts as low as possible. A bit of a lag there. There we go. So this is sort of the timeline. What you're seeing now, we're going out here in the year 2025 with this new rate study. The rates will take effect in July 1st of 2026, and that will help to fund the continued construction on that wastewater treatment facility upgrade, the MBR construction. And we will be going into construction on our state water interconnection. And the Ventura Water Pure facility will also be heading into construction, and hopefully we will have everything in alignment so that we can start receiving new water supply by 2030. So the impact to the rates, we partnered with Raftellus Consultants. They are our rate consultant, and NHA advisors. They're a financial advisor, the city's finance department, the city public works department, and we took a look at what we are going to need in order to fund the wastewater and water services and capital improvement project for the next 5 years. So the impact to the water rate is a 10.5% increase year over year for the next 5 years. And with the wastewater rate, it'll be an 18% increase on July 1st of 2026, then a 16% increase for the next 2 years, with a 14% increase ending with a 10% increase in the year 2031. Where that lands the city of Ventura among other water and wastewater entities is displayed in this chart. This is based off of our typical average user, which gets a 3/4 inch meter with 800 cubic feet of usage. So that's the usage that you see in your water bill, that HCF is 100 cubic feet. And you can see that our current rates land us about in the first portion of the middle range of our neighboring agencies. And this increase will move the city to that higher mid-range of what our other agencies are doing. Plus, they are going through their own rate adjustments now. Currently, Casitas is holding their rate hearing today. And we know that the city of Camarillo just completed their rate study and adopted rates. And most other agencies have started looking at their rate increases as well. So you should have received in your mail a Proposition 218 notice that looks like this. And it is describing to you just what I've been describing to you, the rate increases, why they're happening, the projects that we have proposed to complete. And it gives a breakdown of certain customer classes and an idea of what each customer class will see in their increases. And it also has a way for you to voice your opinion. It does have a description on where to go and how to fill out a protest form. A protest can be, just you saying that you protest the increase in the rates. There's also an objection process, and the objection needs to be a legally described objection. So somewhere within California water law in the Prop 218, if you notice a discrepancy in how we have calculated our rates, that needs to be legally justified through an objection. Both objections and protests will be counted up to the day of the hearing. And if there is a 50% plus one total objections of all of our customers, those that are the legal property owner of the water bill, the rates will not pass. They cannot move forward. If it is below that 50%, we are still hearing opinions. We're still counting your voice, and the city council will take into consideration whether to vote for moving forward with the rates. So there's a lot of generalities in the information I provided you and also on the Prop 218 form, but we do have a billing calculator available to you online, and that you can put in your specific information, what your customer class is, what size meter you have, information that you can get off of your monthly water bill, and it will show you what your current rate is and what the proposed rate will be. So you can get a more finite idea of what the impact will be to your household. Now, there's been a lot of consideration of how impactful these rates can be for some of our customers. We know that any sort of increase can force some painful decisions and cause a lot of stress. So we do have our customer assistance program that we offer for those needing assistance. We have a 50% discount off the fixed rate charge. And we have monthly discounts that we can provide for low-income qualified households. We also have some payment flexibility. We can do payment plans and installment agreements. And we have partnered with Southern California Edison and SoCalGas in receiving their customers who also receive assistance. We have received that list of Ventura customers, and we've automatically enrolled them as well. There's also the medical assistance program. So if you require constant water service due to a health issue and in a medically diagnosed condition, we can help you on that bill forgiveness as well. This past week, we have been given the authorization to start the Billing Relief Initiative during Government Emergencies, or the BRIDGE program. And that is offering assistance and payment options for those who are dependent upon SNAP benefits, or those that have been furloughed and they are a federal government worker. So we can take your information and put you on the program and put you on a relief payment plan until the government gets back into function and brings people back to work. We also have always had a very robust water saving program that Stephen heads up. We have lots of rebates, toilet rebates, and rain barrel rebates. We have efficiency workshops that we hold. We will come to your home and do inspections, help you find a leak. And we have all of that information available on our websites in the rebate section for you to take a look at and hopefully recoup some costs. So back to the Proposition 218 notice. You should have received that in the mail. If not, and you need some more information, please go to our website into the rates section, and you can find out how to make comments or submit a protest. The rate authorization was given on October 14th by the City Council, and that is why we're here with you tonight as part of the communications program in that process. And those notices should have been out in the mail for you on October 17th. We did hold, we've held an in-person facility tour, and we did have one scheduled for this weekend, but we have postponed that due to the prediction of bad weather. So we will be holding that on November 22nd. So if you didn't catch us on the October 25th facility tour, come down to the Ventura Water Reclamation Facility. That's the wastewater treatment plant, and see for yourself the infrastructure that we are going to be investing in. We're here tonight in the open house, and thank you again for joining us and spending the evening to hear about this process. And it all comes back to the City Council on December 9th. That is the rate adoption hearing. And so we will count the protests, we will look at the objections, and then we will we'll have a public hearing to go over the rates, talk about the costs and why they're needed now. And hopefully everyone will see that we do need to invest in that, and it's a good thing for the future of Ventura's water and wastewater. So after that, if the rates are adopted, we will have a second reading in December 16th, and then we will have the approved rates go into effect July of next year. So July 1st, 2026. So they won't be going up right at Christmas time. There will be some time in between. So with that, I have given you a brief overview of everything. Stephen, we have time for questions?
I think that we are actually going to play the video first, and
All
then we
right.
will come back for questions.
All right,
So
so I'm
go
going to
ahead.
stop sharing
Great.
and I'll let that video go.
And just while we're getting that queued up, I want to remind everyone that the chat is open. And throughout Gina's presentation, I was dropping in links to all the different things that she was speaking about. So if you want to get more in-depth information on those things, feel free to click on the links.
And let me know when we're ready.
We are ready to rock and roll. I'm sorry, we're working through some sound issues. Of course, we did go through this yesterday so we wouldn't have this issue, but that's okay.
I apologize. And you can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Steven, do you want to try sharing?
Yeah, let me go ahead and give it a try.
You could just narrate it.
What we can do, Amanda, is just move on to the Q&A and maybe you can see if you can get that working on your end. I'm not seeing the share audio option on my end.
I had it. I don't quite know why it's not working though.
Yep, it is without fail. But you guys did a great job prepping for it. We did get it working.
All right, well, let's go ahead and start with the Q&A. So
Yeah.
if anyone has any questions, we're ready for you, either in the chat or you can raise your hand and speak. All right, Susan.
Mm, Okay. I have about three. Okay, the first thing is, are you saying in 5 years our rates will double? I mean, I know what I should go and figure it out myself, but from one of your charts, that's what it looked like.
So it does depend on what your water usage is. Some of the things that the Water Commission and the City Council worked through this year was to try to help stabilize a little bit on the ratepayer side. So where the fixed rate was set at around approximately 30%. So your straight charges that you get because you have a meter connection, a service line. And the Water Commission recommended to City Council to move that to 25%. So it did lower fixed costs on your water bill. So that's something that you will see go down in the first year. And then they also looked at the wastewater cap. So your wastewater service is based on your usage in the home. We don't have a way to meter wastewater coming out of every home. So it's now set at a cap about 2 HCF lower. So from what you were at. So those on the single family side will see a 10 from, or is it the other way, Stephen? Which way is it? It went from 10 to 8 on multifamily or single family. You're on mute. I gotta pull out my rate thing.
That's all right. That's right.
But we saw a decrease in that. So there's more control on the customer side on the variable rate. But there will be a cost increase because that's just the cost of the water that is that you're going to use is going to go up.
Okay. And then you have all the forgiveness programs, but I always think that the people who don't qualify for the forgiveness programs are the ones who have to pay for it because that's worked into your amount. So that doesn't make me happy. And your water pure, I'm glad you just said what it was. It's purifying, extra purifying wastewater. What would that be used for? I mean, would we be having to drink that, or do I have to move out of Ventura?
Yeah, so we already treat the wastewater that comes through the city to recycled water quality. So it's already used in sprinklers and irrigation. It's used on our golf courses here in Ventura. And so now we're going to add additional treatment to that. We're going to add several membrane filtrations and then ultraviolet light and oxidation to make that purified water. And that purified water is approved by the state and the federal government to be injected into the groundwater and then extracted over a period of time and then put up to our treatment facilities in order to be used for drinking water.
Is there any other city that people are already drinking wastewater?
So
Purified wastewater.
this process has been used around the world. It's been used in Orange County for decades. Orange County is producing over 100 million gallons a day, serving Orange County, Anaheim, City of Orange, Santa Ana. If you've been to Disneyland, you have been drinking this water. We have our folks in Carpinteria that are working on their project, Monterey, San Diego. The LA County Sanitation District has partnered with Metropolitan Water, and they also have their peer program that will be online about the same time as ours.
Okay, my last comment would just be, we just have to trust that you really do need all these. And I mean, it's very believable that you do need to replace the infrastructure. But I found it funny. You said if 51% of the public objects, it's going to go to the city council, and we already know how they're going to vote. So that's really pointless to try to push that.
Well, it's 51%, it's 50 plus 1% of the actual customers. So it's a lower amount. It's not the 113,000 in the population. It's the certified customers of the water who gets a water bill from the city of Ventura. And the council, we have been in conversation with them for decades about our water supply needs, about infrastructure needs. And so, yeah, they gave us the authorization to go forward to put this out there to the public, but your comments will be heard. They will take time to hear you.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to clarify, Gina, on your point with the sewer cap.
Thank you.
So we did move from 12 to 10 on the single family side and from 10 to 8 on the multifamily side.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I was trying to get the video up. And
Any luck?
I think so. But
I had one more comment too as well about the customer assistance program. You mentioned, the residents that are not on that program are funding that program. It's actually funded by our late fees and other penalties that are assessed against customers that are paying their bills late or anything like that.
Okay, it makes me feel better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to try the video again. I think I've got it.
okay, I will let you take it then.
I'm Gina Dorrington. I'm the General Manager for Ventura Water, and we're here this morning to give a tour of our wastewater treatment facility. Tours are a great opportunity to
Amanda?
outreach to the public about what we do and how important
We can't
wastewater
see.
treatment is for the.
You can't see it? Oh.
No, we can hear it now, but can't see it.
I don't know if you can get both. Hold on.
The city of Ventura. I hope that all the residents can learn what happens when they wash their hands, take a shower, or even flush their toilet, that there's a whole team of experts behind that, keeping our sewers clean, treating our wastewater, and making sure that we meet all sorts of water and regulatory compliance.
Good morning. I am Jim Ackerman, a local resident of Ventura for a long time, and local surfer as well. Today, I came out to the wastewater plant because we're going to walk through and look at what we have now and look at the technology that we're dealing with and looking to see what's coming in the future when we get into the new system that's going to improve our wastewater quality. I am on the Water Commission and have been for almost 6 years now, and also I've been recycling water, using recycled water for my home garden watering for about 10 years, so I'm pretty involved in water things. I'm always excited to walk through water reclamation, so I'm really looking forward to it.
My name is Michelle Vildrain. I've been living in Ventura, Midtown for about 23 years, and I've participated today in the Ventura wastewater facility tour, as well as an introduction to what the Water Pure process is and how that's going to help Ventura have better use of water in terms of water storage and water recharging. My thoughts on the project, the ones for the maintenance are absolutely essential to the functioning of this facility. You know, the settling tanks and the process itself is always a good reminder of what Public Works does. And then once again, just seeing some of the cracks and evidence of that this plant's old and it needs some love. So I will pay my rate increase. The Water Pure project, I think, is a great forward-thinking, long-term solution that I think that will be effective for generations. I think in general, I'm very excited about Water Pure.
My name's Josh, and I'm a resident of the Pierpont area in Ventura. We've seen a lot of the project in work already with the laying of the pipeline, the outflow itself going out to the, not too far in front of where we live is actually where the outflow is going to be, but also the pipe that goes from, at this point, Marina Park out that way, and I know will get extended once a new facility goes in. So interested from the technology, interested from a standpoint of rate impact, and also quality of life and the facility itself, which the tour, makes it quite obvious that infrastructure is old and needs to be upgraded. And the reason I'm here today is to learn more about the upcoming changes to the wastewater infrastructure and the additions of the Water Pure facility. I personally think it's a great idea. I think the more we can reuse, water has traditionally been a huge issue in Southern California historically. So the fact that we're doing stuff, specifically the Water Pure project, I like the idea of being able to bring as much of the effluent out of the flow, recycling it as drinkable water. It just seems to make a lot of sense from an environmental standpoint. An economic standpoint, yeah, it's probably going to increase costs and so forth, but I think that's a direction that a lot of communities need to go. I would like to see more members of the community take advantage of the opportunity to come down here and actually see the facility, because in a lot of the forum, you see an awful lot of maybe misinformation or maybe lack of information, and it might help people make more rational decisions about how they feel about things rather than just knee-jerk reactions, but to actually see what's going on, why it is needed, could be helpful. And I think it's not only is it good from the standpoint of the city for public relations and so forth to bring as many members of the community through here as they can. I think it's better for the community also to be educated in these things so that they can make those rational decisions with, the right information, or at least more information than they have currently.
So if anyone's interested in coming to join us for a tour or just want to find out more information, they can visit our website at venturawater.net.
I'm glad we were able to get that working.
All
So
right.
as Gina said in the end of the video, if you are interested in coming out to the plant to actually see it with your own eyes, we invite you to come out. We were having a tour this weekend, but unfortunately due to the rain, we did have to postpone that, but that might be a benefit. Maybe now you will be able to go on that tour. So we invite you to come out. I did drop the link in the chat. So yeah. And with that, I think we'll go back to questions.
Great.
And questions, we'll take all sorts of questions. It doesn't just have to be about rates. It could be about rebate and incentive programs. It could be about Ventura Water Pure or State Water or any of the really great things that we're working on. Yes, Susan.
Yeah, I'll wait or back off if someone has a question. I read in the booklet, it said that rates would increase when we got to a stage 2 drought. I mean, there were like 6 stages. And I thought that's awfully low because that means we will eternally be with a higher rate. I thought that was kind of tricky. And they did it on purpose because, I mean, we're always going to be at some drought level. And so there's this, it was a surcharge. It's a surcharge. That's what it was. And so I thought that was a way for them to have a constant surcharge. To say that if we're at drought level 2, there's a surcharge and up. It shouldn't be that low. So that is.
Yeah, no, we completely understand your concern with that.
One thing.
So we do a report every year. It's called the Comprehensive Water Resources Report, and that determines what level would set us into a drought stage. So we haven't been in a drought since I believe 2022, maybe 2021. So we haven't had to use those charges, and those charges they recover the revenue that we lost from selling less water, essentially. And I'll let Gina.
Yeah, so the rate study included the cost of service study for water shortage surcharges. So those are not going to go in effect unless the drought stage is declared. And we go through a process every year, like Stephen said, where we evaluate where we are with our water resources, whether or not the state's declared a drought, and then whether or not where we are with our own water supplies. That goes through the Water Commission. And they will recommend to the city council to declare a drought stage, and then that will go to city council for them to recommend. So it's not an automatic, and we have, I think the highest we've ever gone is a stage 3. And so we have not even in the last drought period. So it's not a given that we'd be in a drought stage. It's something that is determined year to year, but it is part of the cost of service study so that we have that ability to go into a surcharge based on that conservation. If all of a sudden it just completely went dry and we started to roll through and started to see things in 3 and 4, we wouldn't need to go through a cost of service study on that. We've already done it. It's just an approval process through the commission and the council.
With 6 levels, I assumed we had been up higher. So
no,
okay.
The city of Ventura has done a great job in preserving its resources. But when we look at future years and how much we've attained in conservationship and how that is pretty much the most we're going to conserve out of our community, we will need to, either look at bringing on that new water supply or going into those higher stages of drought.
Thank you.
And Gina, is that something that you can talk about, the demand hardening and the reason why we need these projects?
So we actually have, we did a great job. The city of Ventura is so water wise, and it's been amazing to see how we have answered the call month over month, year over year since 2013 in reducing our demand on our water supply. So we were using, I'm going to use acre feet now, which is, if you think about an acre foot of water, it's a football field, a foot deep in water. We have gone from using 20,000 acre feet a year down to about below 14,000 acre feet a year. So that is a great effort. But the city, that's a lot of seeing that indoor use down, outdoor use. We've had great programs, our turf conversion program, and people have put in water-wise gardenings. And so there's only so much you can start to conserve. And then the next drought cycle comes. So our water supplies haven't fully replenished. We did see Lake Casitas get to its high level, but our groundwater supplies, and so we need to balance where we are. And we know that in that next drought cycle, we did 23%, but there's not 23% on top of that 23% to conserve. One thing we saw with our wastewater treatment facility is we see 1 million gallons less a day. So we know that you guys are using less water every day. But because that demand hardening, we also know that we're going to see that same amount of wastewater now year after year. So that equates to a reliable supply coming forward.
Any other questions in the chat? Didn't want to come in. I'll feed you one. So is MBR the same thing as Ventura Water Pure? Is it the same project or?
Thank you. So I talked about the wastewater treatment facility and that needing to be upgraded. That you saw in our video, the wastewater treatment plant, and you saw the cracks in the walls. And that facility was evaluated through our master plan process that we do every 10 years. And in 2021, the structural analysis on the wastewater facility was determined to be a critical failure. And so we needed to move up all of the capital improvement projects that were on the list at the wastewater treatment plant. And when we looked at all of those repairs that we were going to do throughout that facility, upgrading it to a newer technology was going to be more cost efficient and to eliminate all those other projects into one project. So we upgraded to a membrane bioreactor facility. It coincides very well with the treatment process of an advanced treatment plant. So before that, we had done an environmental impact report on removing our estuary discharge. And we had the advanced purification facility that we had termed Ventura Water Pure. And we were in the process of moving forward with finalizing that preliminary design. And we were able to get funding for both of those projects under one umbrella. That $173 million loan included both the wastewater upgrade and the Ventura Water Pure project. So it appears that they are the same project, but they are not. And people frequently add up the costs together as one. They're operated they're overseen and managed right now through the Ventura Water Pure group. But those are the only two projects that they are overseeing. So it does tend to look like they're the same project, but one will get us the compliance with meeting wastewater discharge requirements, and the other will get us compliance with recycling our water and providing new water supply.
And why doesn't the city just start the litigation process back for the consent decree and build a desal plant?
Oh, there's so many. That's a lot of questions in one question. Then so I'll talk about water resource planning. And the city did explore ocean desal, and it was talked about for a very long time. And when it went to the cost evaluation through the city, it was determined to be economically infeasible. Still today, ocean desal is very expensive. It's also very hard to permit for with the environmental agencies. And so we had evaluated ocean desal as part of the water supply projects in 2018. But it's a secondary program. The more cost-effective program was the Ventura Water Pure program. And so that's why we're not doing ocean desal at this time and period, because the Ventura Water Pure program is going to get us the water supply we need at this time and into the future at a lower cost. The consent decree, the legal challenge that Stephen is alluding to, the city entered into a federally mandated consent decree in 2012. Prior to that, the city had been grandfathered in under several laws, the Clean Water Act, the Endangered Species Act, the Inland Bays and Estuaries Policy, Recycled Water Policy, to discharge into the Santa Clara River Estuary. But in 2008, it was no longer allowed. So the city was actually in violation of discharge. We were up against all of those that I mentioned. It's a federally listed endangered species habitat for several birds and fish. And so there was a lot of back and forth between 2008 and 2012. And that led to the settlement agreement of consent decree. So the consent decree is really the final step in litigation here. And it is, it's been a long process, but it is dictating the city follow the existing law. So it's just another layer of saying you need to meet the laws that are already in place. So the consent decree pushed us into researching how to get this water out of the estuary, what to do with this water. I got here in 2014. We had already gone through 18 stakeholder meetings. We had already gone through 2 permit cycles. And so this current National Pollutant Discharge Permit is requiring us to get out of the estuary. And that is due on December 31st of 2025. And you saw in that film, there was this building being put together behind those pipes. That is the pump station, and that will be ready to go by December 31st of this year.
And if we have state water coming online in the next couple of years and we have all of these allocations of water, we don't really need Ventura Water Pure, right? We don't use all of our allocated water.
And so going back to the challenge that we have with water resource planning, I talked about those local sources of water, and we have Casitas, Lake Casitas that we import from. We have the Ventura River, and we have 3 groundwater basins. All of those groundwater basins have been through some point in time a legal adjudication, and they're being challenged right now. And there is the possibility that 50% of our allocation in our groundwater basins will be decreased. The Ventura River has been through an environmental challenge with not only the state, but with environmental agencies, since it is a listed habitat for the California steelhead trout. So we are now in a we're in a settlement process. We're in a semi-adjudication process, but we've come to a physical solution on the river where when the river flow gets to a certain point, it is shut off. So currently we are shut off. We cannot use a third of our water supply that is available to us during normal wet years because of that agreement. So we know that we won't be able to use Ventura River the way that we used to. And then not too long ago, we saw Casitas at less than 30% of its level. And we know that with state water, that is just as impacted by climate change as we are. And during that time when Lake Casitas was down, state water gave us an initial notice of 0% of our allocation. So anywhere from 0 to 60 seems to be sort of the allocation, the percentage that we get in state water. So we know that we couldn't get our full allocation. And knowing that, we've kind of baselined the state water to be a replacement for those decreasing levels we see on our existing supply. So it's sort of a net zero gain on state water. So we know we need to bring in something else. And the most cost-effective way right now is Ventura Water Pure.
And does Ventura Water Pure have an upfront cost of $1.4 billion?
Ventura Water Pure is not $1.4 billion. It is, I was looking for my notes right now. I have to date our estimated total cost for the suite of projects, which includes the ocean outfall, which you heard was is near completion, the advanced purification facility, and then land purchase for groundwater and the groundwater injection wells. So that total comes out to $373.4 million. That is for the Ventura Water Pure program. The membrane bioreactor, that wastewater treatment plant, that total estimated cost is about $302 million. The $1.4 billion we think is coming from an evaluation we did with our financial advisors and our consultants, and that's sort of the amortization of the total costs over the year through bonding for all of our capital projects. Not just Ventura Water Pure, but over the cost and time and span of 30 years, our capital improvement project could possibly be 1.4.
Great.
Yes,
And I
Susan.
see Susan.
Here I go again. I am sure many people share my feelings that I don't think I could ever wrap my head around water pure. I guess eventually I will, but can you tell me when that water's coming through my tap?
So
I
we're
don't mean my
hoping.
hose. I mean where, and for me, if I put a glass under there, that I would really be drinking that stuff.
So this Ventura Water Pure is the purest form of water that we can make, and it's purer than any water supply that you will find naturally. It has it's the most regulated and tested source of water. So we are required by the state law to have critical control components put in for plant shutdown at any time a parameter is out of compliance. We have strict reporting and certification. Those that run the facility will have to have 2 forms of certification under their license in order to do that. And so the state has given us strict guidelines to follow, and we know that we can follow them. We're actually using the membrane technology on the Ventura River side already. And so we know that it'll be safe, and it is slated to come online in 2030. It's also going to improve the groundwater quality. We have very hard water in our groundwater basins, and this is going to help to blend up that water quality. So it's so pure, it will help eliminate that hardness in the future.
So you don't think that in 2030 we're going to have all these people, health people, writing and saying it's not real water?
No, it is real water. It's very clean water. It's very safe, and I have every confidence about it.
Gina, do you want to talk about maybe other agencies that have been using this technology for a really long time, as well as maybe the environmental buffer?
So we have garnered experience and knowledge from our partners in Orange County. Orange County Sanitation has been recharging the groundwater basins there since the 1960s, I believe. And they have never had an issue. We've never had a health outbreak. They've done a very good job in help educating even our state regulators. This is used globally. Singapore has what they call New Water, and that came online when I was in the 1990s. Coming out of college, and New Water was this really neat thing. So Singapore has theirs. It's used in Israel, Australia. We also partnered with I think it's Birth Australia, and they have their recycled water facility. In California, Monterey has theirs permitted. San Diego has theirs running. And Pismo has been working on theirs. Carpinteria has been working on theirs. It really is going to answer the California water problem by recycling our water as much as we can to alleviate what's going on in all of our water supply in California. And Jen's got
Well, that's
something
all
in
I
chat.
have.
All right. Well, if there's no other questions, again, I really appreciate you spending your evening with us to learn more. We are all here for you. If you have any more questions, Stephen, you have put some contact stuff in the chat. Visit our website, send us an email. You can give us a call. We're here to answer, and please try to check out the tour. It's quite fun.
Yeah, and I would just say maybe staff can hang out online till maybe 7, and if anyone has questions, we'll be here. I'll put contacts in the chat.
Sure.
And if not, have a wonderful night, and thank you for joining us.
Stay dry.
Thank you.